The AP has just broken some new news. This has just come out from the Associated Press. This is incredible. Trump administration officials have been sending babies and other young children. Oh, hold on. To at least 3. Can we put up the graphic of this?
Far right-wing billionaires like Elon Musk and right-wing media and anti-woman manosphere podcasts are creating social media or gaming social media apps like X Twitter in Trump's favor and pumping disinformation into the brains of Trump supporters. Not quite foreign interference, but not exactly different from what Vladimir Putin would do. And in many ways, the disinformation campaign is working. Remember, Mark Esper, who was Donald Trump's Secretary of Defense for a while, told him, no, you cannot shoot American citizens. You can't have the military shoot American citizens. He's going to replace people in the Department of Defense with people who will say you can, and that you can deploy the military against protesters, that you can arrest journalists for reporting things that Donald Trump doesn't like, that sort of thing, right?
That is exactly right. One of the things that Roosevelt did after he sort of left the administration in this sort of interregnum period that he's had and has been referenced with that 180-day agenda is that they have been building out the legal documentation, or they consider to be the legal documentation, to justify internally the deployment of the military. I know it sounds hysterical. How can we possibly, this sounds so outrageous. No, this is part of the plan. Like they literally wrote a plan down and then prepared all the supporting documentation so they could check off that box.
I think Musk is becoming like first buddy. You know, he's hanging around, foreign leaders call, Trump puts him on the phone with him. He brings his family to Mar-a-Lago. He doesn't want a job, right? And I think in a funny way, Donald Trump is sort of in awe of Elon Musk because he's so rich.
What do you make of this? They fashion themselves on social media as this legion of superheroes, this incoming administration. Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., et cetera, et cetera. I guess we're adding pictures and names. I know you now you're looking at me like you mean the Legion of Doom.
It's the Marvel Universe versus second-rate DC, but that's...
I mean, if I understood what that meant, I would probably have a better opinion about it.
But
if we're talking about like
Musk, talk to me about Musk.
Right after it was very clear Donald Trump was the president-elect, he starts tweeting like, you are the new media to all of the folks on X, like CNN, mainstream media, is extinct, and this was our plan to ruin. And I think that platforms like X and Facebook and all the social media platforms do help when they're used properly to democratize microphones for people to have a voice. But it is very clear since Elon has taken over that the algorithms are working in a couple of ways that are causing greater division in our community. Scott and I sometimes sit next to each other, and he has a totally different feed than I have because we're getting fed things that it thinks we want, and they're very polarizing our feeds. And then we also have people who get lifted up more, and they happen to be people who agree with Donald Trump, and people who don't agree with Donald Trump get shadow banned. That's not really the media. That's a platform, and you can do whatever you want, but the influence that it does have, I'm not just talking about Twitter. I'm talking about TikTok. I'm talking about Instagram. I'm talking about Facebook. There's an issue here.
So did they just say that the right is censoring the left and shadow banning the left, even though Facebook is being sued for that right now and admitted to doing that? I think actually Google is being sued for that as well. And that's why they stopped doing that. We even got an email about that.
Twitter were super left. I mean...
75% actually. That's why he fired everybody. And now the fact that, see, look, when you give people these privileges, like whenever it's dominant on the left on X and on all these social media platforms and all these things, like she just said, in reverse though, whenever they make it back normal to the middle, it appears to be right-leaning because it was so far left. But it really is just now everybody has a voice.
So the talk of the weekend, guys. People was talking about Elon Musk buying MSNBC.
That would be crazy.
That would be hilarious.
Everybody's been in on it. Donald Trump Jr. said, hey, at Elon Musk, I have the funniest idea ever.
It would be hilarious.
So
how much do it cost?
You know, he's for real too. You know.
Yeah, they put some money behind Twitter. So,
yeah,
Comcast. It says Comcast is putting MSNBC up for sale. CNN just announced massive layoffs coming. So that'll be actually insane. Like seeing all those like recent clips we just heard.
It's gonna be funny.
I don't see no reason why they can't get fired. Like
Hey,
all those
if y'all
people
want to save y'all network,
like Joy Reid has to be the first to go. Actually, they need to like televise her firing. Joy Reid,
like when LeBron went to the Heat.
You gotta go. Hey, Joe Rogan on MSNBC, like, hey, we need this bag, bro. Think about it, bro. Like, why is Rachel, like the lady that was crying on the first clip, why is her contract was for like $30 million?
That's crazy.
Like nobody, and she gets on a platform that actually like a biased platform. I mean, it's actually not biased.
How about
and people don't love.
One of these days, bro. These networks are gonna get smart, and they're gonna take somebody like, I'm not trying to toot our own horn, but somebody like us who built a platform on our own because we vibe with the people and we tell the truth, other than just some paid actors who are
literally
puppets for whoever. And lead us not into temptation.
Elon, you got to do it, bro. You got to do it,
Please, bro.
You can't forget about us, bro. We got to just bring us on once a week.
Once a week on like Saturday night.
Yeah.
Whenever, or when people up late,
we going to keep it real.
Yeah. But we won't cuss. No F-bombs, no N-bombs.
That's going to be
promise.
hard. Yeah. That's going to be hard.
No nigga and no F-bombs.
Because if I see Jasmine Crockett say something, I see AOC say something, they pull that up, I'm going to say, it's going to be hard.
It's all right.
We're going to
be like the Pat McAfee show of politics.
One of the reasons inflation has been lower in the last few years is that we've had a lot more immigration.
Did it go up when Obama deported 5 million people? I think concerns about this are overblown. We've got 1.6 million people with deportation orders right now and another violent population. I mean, I don't think that alone is going to drive up the cost of groceries in the short term. And people want it to happen.
You don't think mass deportations will affect the labor force or agriculture industry?
Or building houses to bring down the
Even
cost
if you're
of
pro it, you have to consider that. I mean,
I think if you exit people that have already have deportation orders from the court, and you exit people who are violent criminals, that is in no way, shape, or form going to hurt the economy, but it just might make people feel a little safer about their communities.
Way more than that.
Something that I'm still struggling with, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on, is how did a convicted felon resonate more with Americans than a hyper-qualified woman of color? Do you think that racism and misogyny played any part in this election?
No. Well, listen, I think that Vice President Harris was eminently qualified. Mm-hmm. And I supported her with everything that I had, and I think so many Americans did. It was a close election at the end of the day, didn't break in her direction. I think we all are going to unpack as part of our after-action analysis. How did this happen?
Yeah.
Where did we fall short? I do think that the emerging lesson, separate and apart from reasons may be connected to race and misogyny, is that the economy was the dominant theme for a lot of folks, particularly when you consider that in many communities of color, there was movement away from the Democratic candidate and toward the former president.
People are rightfully alarmed. They have a reason to be alarmed. And if you would vote for that, people may not feel so confident that they're safe with you. This is not crazy. This is legitimate feelings of fear of you and a feeling that you might not be someone they could trust. If this thing goes way south, autocracies go south real fast and things get ugly and people get asked to do things and turn people in and point people out and turn on them. And if you're voting affirmatively, gleefully for this, people may not feel so confident in you anymore. That's real, and you kind of have to live with it. So if you think that you can vote for what people see as their destruction and then demand that they still are cool with you and kiki with you and have Thanksgiving with you, I think you're kind of missing the point of what people are upset about. They're afraid. And autocracy and fascism are things that are legitimate to be afraid of. So you may want to step back.
How is she worth $4 million?
That was infuriating, actually.
How is she worth $4
million? I almost
million?
said so many slurs just now.
Because how he's feel right now, that's why she worth $4 million.
How is she worth $4 million, guys?
You could talk mess upon her.
Like these people, I mean, MSNBC has to go.
If they don't vote like you shouldn't. Even if it's your mom, if it's your dad, if it's your son, your daughter, you should cut them off.
And then on top
just
of that,
because they voted different than
look, on top of that, when you cut them off, you're not the one that's being defensive.
Nope,
it's them.
Yeah. You're not crazy.
They are crazy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let's put it up here. Hey, Elon Musk, put me in charge of the Pentagon. I'll slash $400 billion easy. That'll get you 20% to your goal of $2 trillion right out of the gate. I went to Wharton 3 years before you. I own a media company, so I know how to run a business. If you really want to cut, put me in coach. Elon Musk actually responded and said, specific suggestions are welcome. What is the problem?
I don't know about this guy.
Yeah, I can't imagine what the problem is. What I'm telling the left is take the win. It's not that complicated. So they say, well, look, they're not really going to do it. Well, then if they don't do it, then we'll call them out on it. Again, where's the problem? Oh, they were actually going to cut Medicare and Medicaid. That's probably true, and it's very likely, and we'll fight them on that. But why would we fight them on a thing we agree on? So we've been wanting to cut the Pentagon for decades on the left. And there's a reason for that, too. It's because that is where the biggest fraud and abuse are. Because anytime you go to cut the Pentagon, they go, oh, you're going to endanger national security. Oh, my God, all of our lives are going to be lost if you cut it by $1. That's why they stuff all the pork in the Pentagon. If they're going to cut, they got to cut at the Pentagon. And now we're having a conversation. And by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene today, when talking about how she's going to head up the Doge committee in the House, said one of the first places to cut is the Pentagon. Mm-hmm. The rest of the left, please take the win.
Do you think it's just, hey, we can't even entertain a conversation with Elon Musk or the Donald Trump administration? Do you think that this is he just won the election. Is there a lesson that has to be learned right now? Do you think it's just we can't even look like we're cooperating whatsoever?
Yeah, that's a lot of it, and there's a lot of spite out there, but I just can't understand the logic of it. If they do something wrong, you call them out. If they do something right, you give them credit. It's just common sense.
How do y'all think all the woke ass people in LA who got Teslas for the environment feel about Elon and their Tesla now? They're probably getting there every day and they're like, no.
I mean,
what they gonna trade it in for?
He still supplied them. He supplied them an item that they wanted. They don't help the cause.
Help the earth.
So I mean, you can't get upset with him, bro.
He got Trump.
Getting mad at people's politics is actually insane. That's why I mean,
no, if you do that. Hey, these
people have to go,
they
man.
There's only one side that act like that. I don't care.
It's only one side that acts like that.
There's only one side.
With the kids, remember the kids where we saw that video about the kids? That exposed it, bro. The parent will see a kid, like a Trump side, and they're going to drop the kid off. No. But if you see the opposite, you'll just be like, oh, well, they just, whatever. But go over there, little Johnny. Like, it's not the same thing.
Elon goes into these companies and he kicks trash cans and yells at everybody. That's, by the way, his style. And he doesn't
Literally
run them.
doing that.
Yes. He doesn't run everything so well. I was talking to Neuralink people, and they're like, we can't wait till he leaves because he's
the
so
brain
disruptive.
implant that's going to go.
Mm-hmm. But he's great at being an entrepreneur and creating things. And one of the things he does well is disrupt and break. So he crashed, 90 rockets before he got the right one. NASA can't do that. Mm-hmm. Government can't do that. Government can't crash. Because it's not the same thing as running a company by fiat, which he does, and he does very well in a very aggressive way. And that's fine, but it doesn't work when it comes to government. You're always going to find the $600 toilet or the wrench that costs $1,000 that government has. That's a different issue, and I think just going in and cutting them, and that's his way, doesn't work in the public sector quite the same way it works in the private sector. Like this return to work thing is...
When he's saying, federal government,
have to come in. Most federal workers work at work. He doesn't even note this actual statistics because it's a lot of hand waving and all government is bad. It's such a reductive way to look at a problem, and it works in private companies where you run everything. It doesn't work in government.
And quickly before we go, how do you think the Trump-Musk relationship goes? Those are also two people who love a camera.
I don't know. I think I think one thing that's going for him, he's very rich. He's the richest man in the world, and so Trump likes that. So he can hold on for a lot longer. in the end, I think it'll be like a Steve Bannon-like thing. The too much attention, but you never know. The money speaks to Donald Trump very much, and so.
Yeah, man, Elon Musk buy this shit, man.
Hold on, bro.
Buy this shit, Elon and Trump,
Why
please.
is she saying anything about Elon about rockets? Because he failed 3 times.
Man.
Nobody made
She
a
don't know
rocket
science
to
clearly,
go
bro.
to Mars. You fucking idiot. And you made me really mad that you compared the government to rockets.
Bro. She's a contributor.
So talking about-
Just saw her
Makes
title
me
contributor. You talking to Elon Musk? He's not. I heard he doesn't run businesses very good.
So-
he's the richest nigga in the world.
Hold on.
Oh, Elon Musk don't know how.
If we know the government has been doing the people wrong, I actually they've been using taxpayer dollars wrong. You know, America's a great place,
Right,
whatever.
right. But there's areas we can improve.
Errors that we can improve.
Right.
So if they just say, you know, they've been doing us wrong and it's just bad right now, and they've been blowing it up, and we realizing that taxpayer dollars are being used for these jobs that really don't need to be there. So I don't understand why she's saying that's a bad way to look at the problem. He just saying, oh well, man, the government's been doing bad. That's a bad way to look at it.
Overspending. Inflation.
Wars have been starting. We can go on and on and on about stuff bad that the government has done, and then some people come along and say, "Hey, I think they're doing y'all pretty bad," and then the people are realizing, "Hey, maybe they are," and then they vote for that.
They vote for big government policies like welfare and all these things.
That's a bad way to look at it.
Man,
I don't know, bro.
Man, hold on, bro.
I'm done.
Who
Buy
let
this shit.
this woman talk though? Like,
Yeah,
who
bro.
gave this woman the platform,
Hey,
bro?
Elon, buy this. Everybody put their money together. Let's buy MSNBC. Let's buy CNN. Or let's just cancel them and just start our own stuff, bro. Like, you know, the media for the people. Yes. Let's put an X, name that X News, and they come on every day on Channel 2.
With 4 black people like
We
us.
gonna add everybody, you know, because think about it, bro. Rachel, the girl that was crying on the beginning of that, she's getting 30 million. I don't think Joe might be around that. Like, why is she getting that? And Joe has a bigger influence than Rachel. As far as right now, like, who really cares about, like, who's a fan
Ask
of Rachel?
people who they want,
If
man.
you're a fan of Rachel, are you good for the society? Who would be a bad? I don't know. Like, just think about them liberal. If you're a fan of these liberal people, would you do anything to progress the society? I feel like.
They believe they are.
But that's the same argument they make, so we can't say that.
I guess, bro. I don't know, bro. It's just crazy, guys.
Just
These people are
I say
they're
they
overpaid.
just yeah.
They're overpaid, guys.
Let the people, just like America, make it a democracy. Let the people say what they want to see.
It's a lot of people that see them.
Yes, and
What if
they're
they had
doing
to
their
vote the
job.
people who get to be on TV?
They're doing their job, and their job is hard. But now it's crumbling,
It's not
guys.
hard.
I mean,
Wait, to run the government or to be the media?
the media. We're talking about the media right now.
They got a script. Get on there, read, go home.
We know what Nancy Pelosi doing easy. They said she get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to be a climate advisor. Oh, what we doing?
It's getting hot
All right,
outside.
y'all.